Hello there, I'm Peasant, and in this Spirit Island Playbook, I'm going to be taking a look at 3 openings for Thunderspeaker. Okay, so this first opening is probably what most people think of as the standard Thunderspeaker opening. So what we'll be doing is turn 1, 4 energy plus a presence from the bottom track to get that second play, and you'll be looking to play 2 cards this turn, 2 cards next turn, and then reclaiming. So this is quite a straightforward kind of opening. I'm going to try and play it through as quickly as possible. You do actually have the energy to do this really early on, which is pretty nice. You want to keep your words for turn 2. Sudden ambush is quite nice for actually preventing a build. So probably something like sudden ambush and then voice maybe. You know, you've got options. But yeah, sudden ambush. Obviously, you want this for the defend. The nice thing about getting this this beast is that it does give you your Gather the Warriors ability in turn 1, so you can arrange your Dahan where you want them. And you've even going with the 4 energy means that actually you can go turn 1 manifest, which is pretty great. But if you are going to go turn 1 manifest, you probably want to go with voice, because then you get lead the Furious Assault as well. Let's just do this one, which means that you'll be able to. It means you'll be able to destroy a town as well, even if you only have a very small amount of Dahan presence. So you can go something like, oh yeah, we've got the build here as well. This has worked out fairly well. So we can Voice of Thunder, push these Dahan into here, bring this with us, and we can manifest in here. So yeah, so we actually had way more. We had more damage than we needed there. Okay, this is fine. There's no Furious Assaulting to be done. And then turn 2. So this is the standard way of for people. They go then double top track to on their energy. And I think when you are placing your presence, you generally want to put it in with your Dahan. With this particular spirit, because that's kind of an important part of what you do. So you can then Words of Warning in here, and then ambush if you want to ambush somewhere, like to prevent this build. Bear in mind that also sometimes you might just want to save the energy, but this is just playing this through as a kind of very standard opening. So you can Words of Warning in there, defend, letting this land go. Useful. It's a good. It'll help your game if you can just let a land go here or there. Then obviously in the fight back is simultaneous, and then you can clear that. And then turn 3 would be reclaim, this kind of standard kind of opening. Got some warrior gathering. This is the hardest part of the game really with Thunderspeaker, is positioning your Dahan. So we've cleared our wetlands, so we might want to position them in with the builds. And if you're looking for a guideline on how many, 2 armies of 3 is good in solo. Obviously, if you're playing with multi-spirit, you're going to have more Dahan on the board to play with. That presents its own challenges. But yeah, I'm just going to bring this Dahan in here. And generally, you want to bring the presence with you, unless you've got a particularly good reason not to. All right. So this standard opening would go next with reclaim. Though actually, in this case, just here saying trashing the standard opening. I will try and put that on the screen somewhere. Would be reclaim, but you could actually just press forward and place presence just to become more powerful next turn. But yeah, so the standard thing to do here would be reclaim. And typically with Thunderspeaker, you want to be gaining low power, low cost cards or Dahan movement cards. So Call to Bloodshed here is a very good Dahan movement, but we're not. This is really just looking at openings. Okay, so I'm going to gloss over this a little bit because I've got 3 openings I want to show you. Call Dahan Way surprisingly is not that great with Thunderspeaker, which is surprising. They don't really have moons, so they don't get this secondary ability, but we're not here for that. So generally good principles, 0 cost stuff. Okay, so the next thing on this standard opening, so kind of standard Quinta Fantaskippy. So that was the reclaim. Oh, I've got to play a turn out now. This country. I've got a chance to win. So we'll just... okay, I'll just prevent that build in there. And could Call to Bloodshed in there. So I'm not I'm just trying to play through a bit of the opening. But Thunderspeaker is incredibly powerful, so got a fear card there. Let's just clear that in there. And I'm really just trying to show off the opening here. All right, we've got gather the warriors as well. Oh, actually, I could clear this land completely. The other thing to note is with Thunderspeaker is that if you are just a lone explorer somewhere, you actually can just leave them to fight with a Dahan. Except when you bring events into the game, if you get Branch and Claw, at which point you then might hate me for ever telling you that. So I'm just bringing some Dahan over there, but again, this is not a playthrough. This is just an opening, a look at openings. Okay, so now we are where even are we? So we've had 1, 2, 3. So we're now in round 4. So we'd go with this one. And what's the standard? They say bottom track. Crikey. This is not how I play it, by the way. Just this is not how I do it. I favour a different strategy because they're now trying to get their plays up. So again, you want to put your presence in with your Dahan, and again, yeah, you probably would want to be doing something like this. But you can see here that I'm actually trying not to just wipe them out because I've got to do this opening. Okay, so there's a Ravage here next turn. There's a Ravage here next turn. So I can actually just do this. Clear that land. Push. Oops. Wrong order. Trying to go too quick, you see. Push these in here. And pretty much always you want to bring the presence. And then I can just Furious Assault in there. Okay, and then the last part of this opening, the standard, is to then get to this Reclaim 1 spot. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this opening there. So this is what I'd call what a lot of people call the standard opening. And I've got 2 more to show you. Okay, so the second opening I'm going to show you is also one that Fantaskippy outlined, and I think a lot of people favour this opening. So this one is a bit less straightforward. You're actually really just placing as much presence as possible in the early game, not using this much at all. So placing and reclaiming, that's it. So turn, and so you're also not even going down the plays track early on, which is interesting. So you want to be going top track, and then using ambush turn 1. So this, for example, is a preventable build. So that's the kind of thing you'd prevent. Again, you place your presence in with your Dahan, and you just have the one action. So this feels like the most the build that you can prevent, and probably you'd let this land go. This is very much a kind of infrastructure build. So we've got 2 gathers as well. We don't have the defend cards for this, and we're not going to gain any. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather these Dahan in to make that second army of 3. You like 2-3 armies in a solo. Okay, so second, I am having to check a crib sheet because this is not how I play. Wow, okay, this is wild. So they then go top again. Top. And then playing Words of Warning somewhere. Well, I kind of skipped that. I'm still going to play it though. This is the kind of standard. It does let you do these things. So it's Words of Warning is an amazing card because it lets you, because of this beast there. It's actually good to play even if you don't have defending to do. And I don't have defending to do. So we've let that land blight. That might not be to your taste. But yeah, so here if I destroy this with the Furious Assault, this land is now fine because there's only an Explorer in there. Then we've got gather to push to, and then we can gather to maybe somewhere where we want to do something about it next turn. We're going to have Voice and Manifestation next turn, and the idea is that we play these on that turn. So that's a push for damage, push for, and then a big hit. So we've got a few options of places we might want to hit. Can we actually make a big army here somewhere? We could just centralize these guys. These Dahan, sorry, I do call them guys sometimes. Sometimes. Oh yeah, we could push them over here. But yeah, the Dahan movement is probably the hardest part of playing this particular spirit. So okay, and then we're going bottom track. This is interesting. That I don't think I've ever played it like this. It's interesting. I see the appeal. I like to get that presence down, and then so this is the kind of the outlined opening. So I'm not really considering these too much. And notice how obviously this is using our start cards. We haven't gained any cards, which I guess makes it quite easy for me to demonstrate. The island has blighted though, but we should now be very, very powerful, hugely powerful. So now we can march in with our manifest and clear up a land that's about to ravage. This we can defend next turn with our words of warning. So this looks like the candidate land to destroy. We'll leave these Dahan in here, though it might be good to actually have these. Can I do the job in here? Because I've got Lead the Furious Assault, I can actually send 2 in, destroy the town, and clear that. So I think I will. That's what I'll do. So and notice that because there are no beast elements on these on these cards, it means that I don't have the gathering ability that's so useful. Oh yeah, we'll do it this way around. So we'll destroy the town, and then we can manifest in here to clear out the rest. And that's, of course, we don't have to worry about that ravage now. And what's next on the list? So next they would reclaim. Yeah. That's it's always worth when you get to this point just checking whether you can get away without reclaiming. And then you've got miners, and generally you want to pick cheap miners, cheap miner powers. But yeah, again, I'm looking at openings here. A pretty boon is super powerful. Not as powerful in solo, but yeah, so cheap minor powers, these are good ones. Gift of power, I love gift of power. Look at that, lovely little snake. But yeah, not really looking so much. This is looking at openings here. So we words of warning in there for the defense, and we could prevent this build down here if we had the energy. See, so we don't. Yeah. Oh, we could prevent it with lure, but this is a card we picked up, so. Don't want to get too. We can bring them in there, and then they'll get destroyed in the ravage, and then we could words of warning there. So sorry if it's a bit quick, but this is all this actual gameplay. It's distracting from the openings. Damn it, ruining my Spirit Island Playbook with their. So these guys are going to get killed on the ravage. So I'm actually going to remove the Explorer there because this will give me a fear when it's destroyed. And then the final bit of this opening idea. Okay, so I've got Furious Assaulting to do. It's going to be a build in there. We could gather a couple of warriors in here. I'll be breaking up my 3 army, but that's okay, I think. And also, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because this is an openings video. I'm not concerned with the wider game. Okay, and then the final bit of this particular opening is to get to this reclaim one. So again, with the double presence placements, I like how that. I like the cut of this opening's jib, but again, this is not how I generally roll. And yeah, so that's going to finish the look at that. This all important reclaim one we have now. So yeah, that's that opening. That's the second opening. So the third opening I'm going to look at is what I call the FOREL SPECIELLE, because when I was trying to work out how to improve my game, a board game geek user called FOREL suggested this. So it's very different to these other ones. We basically ignore the top track altogether, and the main idea of the opening is to be manifesting as often as possible. Every other turn. You can't every turn, apart from in the first turns, you choose either the first turn or second turn, and you're basically just alternating these, getting to this reclaim one as soon as possible. So let's just put it into practice. This is the opening I've used most recently to beat England 6. I've actually beaten England 6 with opening with just gain power cards. I don't think I'd recommend that though. Not a high win rate. Okay, so yeah, the first thing we're doing is picking one of these. Yeah, this is a bit more flexible, and yeah, you just ignore that disgusting top track. Got the build here, which makes me think that if I can go, yeah, something like this and this. I've even got a preventable build there, but yeah, so something like this. Jungle Explore, and we can Furiously Assault in here. We can, but yeah, again, I am more trying to demonstrate the opening than perfect play, because unlike chess, I cannot set the game up to respond exactly how I want. Okay, so right, where are we? We're turn 2, and we just keep on this track. So we've done our turn of playing Manifest, so now we can just keep on charging down that track. And because we've played the this here, we've got the energy to play these when we want them. So we can prevent this build. No dramas. We can even Words of Warning somewhere. So we didn't place a Dahan in there, so there is going to be a Blight in there, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's all fine. Don't you worry. So no need to use Words of Warning unless we were to use the Gather Push. But you do kind of want to, with this particular opening, you are a bit tight on energy. I would say that's a feature of this opening. And I'm going to bring this Dahan, because these two could become a 3-army and these two could become a 3-army. Each player removes. So we lost an Explorer up there. And okay, so we have a Ravage here, that's fine. Our Ravages are fine, and some builds, okay. And we've got some Gathering the Warriors to do. So we could, I mean, we've already got the Warriors really kind of where we want them. Let's just gather this single warrior in there. And now we've got to the point now where we're at the Reclaim 1. So instead of doing this, what we can do is go with gaining energy and placing a presence. Now, obviously, this is not the most precisely done run through because I want this to be a quick video showing off the openings. So you can do this, or you could, of course, reclaim, but then you wouldn't have the energy, you see. So this is probably what I'd do. And probably with the aim of smashing one of these lands. Actually, in this case, it might be better off just going with Sudden Ambush. Sudden Ambush is pretty much my bogeyman card. I really don't use it. So it's kind of, we've gone a bit off track here, but this is, I guess, the low pressure of this particular matchup. So yeah, that's basically the 3 openings I wanted to show you. This is pretty much a pilot for this series. I will do them for the rest of the spirits if people think this is a good idea. Any feedback? And I was thinking about trying to do some stuff about how they interact with other spirits, but actually there are some spirit pairings that have very particular openings. But I think that might be something I do in the future. Anyway. Yeah, so that's that opening. Basically, once you get to Reclaim 1, you are alternating this and this, and you just don't care about the top track unless you want this air for something, unless you want to get things fast here, but generally you want this 4th action. And when you do reclaim, you gain your cards, you're mostly gaining cheap cards. The whole opening revolves around using Manifest every turn if possible. But yeah, so that's opening number 3, the FOREL SPECIELLE. So that wraps it up for this episode of Spirit Island Playbook. It was a pilot, so it's pretty rough around the edges and more of a proof of concept than a finished product. So what I'll probably do is get as much feedback as I can on this, and then do the rest of the spirits that are in the digital version, and then come back and redo this one at some point. So any feedback, gratefully accepted. And yeah, I'll catch you next time.